Okay, how's it going, everybody? In this video, I'm going to go over the illusion and the operation behind how the house advantage is always working against you, and it's not dependent on any sort of system anybody can particularly come up with, because that doesn't matter when we already know what the house edge is. If we didn't know what the house edge is, it would be kind of different, because we would be gambling in a different way, of where we wouldn't be able to really know where we're at if we didn't know the house edge. So that would be completely different, and you would be gambling in a completely different way if they didn't just tell you what the house advantage is. So your only interest of when you're going to gamble, of if you're going to put money into a gambling, is just knowing what is the house edge, because that is what you're giving up, what you're willing to lose. It's what you're willing to not have possession of. You're willing to give that away. So that's where it creates what is known as the gambler's fallacy. So the gambler's fallacy is basically somebody who doesn't understand or believe that house edge has any sort of effect on anything. That's what a gambler fallacy is. Okay, so the the cool thing about house advantage is it doesn't matter if there's a house advantage, because even with the house advantage, which is why people gamble, in the short term anything could happen. Okay, so yeah, you particularly and potentially could win, and potentially you could keep winning, but it becomes more and more unprobabilistic to actually happen, which is why we have learned to explain a new dynamic of what people are not seeing, what they're missing. So most people, they miss it. They miss, well, what is the gambler's fallacy? What is house advantage? Why is it stopping me? Why is it pointless to feed the system? The thing is, if you're feeding any system with a house advantage, it's you're losing energy. So you're basically building up a volcano for them, because it's either, if there's a house advantage, it's going the energy is going to be absorbed and taken into on one side or the other throughout the long run. Okay, so the thing about the gambler's fallacy, where it destroys and conquers, like, most people that don't take into account the dangers of house advantage, because they're affected by the gambler's fallacy. So when you're affected by the gambler's fallacy, you basically tell yourself that, hey, this house advantage will not affect me short term or long term. But most people with the gambler's fallacy do tend to stick with, well, I'm playing short term anyway, so I can already overcome house edge since I'm only going to do it short term. And before you know it, they get down so far, because there is no such thing as playing short term when you're doing it over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Okay, as soon as you just keep doing it and doing it, you're not doing it short term. Okay, so that's the problem. So most people, they're trying to pretend that they're not feeding the system, feeding the problem. And hours later, they end up with their money disappearing, because they don't understand how is it going to affect them. Well, how is it going to affect you is the most visual way that I can explain this. Is it's almost like a stock exchange or a Bitcoin exchange or any sort of exchange, of where one person agrees to trade at one currency or one value or one price, while the other agrees to trade at a different value. So your problem with when you have a house advantage is you're already inside of an exchange. So you're regardless of how you want to say, oh, my system this, my system that, that don't matter when it's already got a hole in it. It already has a hole in it, so you can't patch something that has a hole in it with a system. The only way you're going to patch a hole is to patch the hole if the hole's not there. That's what people don't understand. They're, oh, I'll go around the hole. Because if I go around the hole, it's not there. But in all actuality, the hole is always there, and you can't get around it. There's no way to get around it. And if you try to get around it by covering it up, by trying to get around it, you'll only keep making it worse and worse and worse. Because the more you keep feeding, oh, I need to cover that, I need to cover that, I need to cover that, the more that is not being protected. So you're now risking more and more money with the system, with an exchange algorithm that you will never be able to overcome. So if people that feel safer by using systems are in all actuality just feeding the system more. Now, remember, we love to gamble, so that doesn't mean that when you are using your systems and creating your systems, that it isn't going to give you a better chance to win, because you will have better chances to win when you're betting more and you're basically betting more. All right, well, yeah, you're going to win more, but you're still going to be losing more, because anytime you're winning, you're actually still losing. That's a problem. That's why I never recommend, oh, just fucking throw more bets out, because that's stupid. Oh, let's just throw more fucking bets out. So now I go from fucking only betting $10 to fucking betting $100. Why would I want to fucking bet $100 with a fucking hole, a house advantage against me, when I know that the hole is there and I can't cover it up? I can't get around it. There's no way to dodge around house advantage systems. Although you can create systems, but the way systems work is the bigger they are, the harder they fall. So you may have this system that's all built up and it's already going to be super unprobabilistic to lose, but you know what? The second it does happen, you will crash harder than you could even withstand. That's why you'll always return back to the start, back to the beginning, back to nothing, you'll crumble. It doesn't matter. The only system that can ever overcome house advantage is if you have infinite amounts of money to keep coming back to get it back. That's the problem. No one has access to being able to go in for unlimited amounts. Now, as soon as you don't have access to unlimited, it now starts working against you, because the chances are eventually gonna happen, because you can never just fucking, oh, I want another chance, and that's the point of how a system that when you're using infinite money will always work. Because if you have infinite money, all you gotta do is just take another chance. Hell, if you lose, who cares? You have infinite money. All you gotta do is take another chance. The problem is, you're not always going to be able to just, oh, I'm going to take another chance. Now, what the best way to visualize this so you don't psych yourself out and basically deceive yourself is understand what is happening, okay? It's not a matter of needing to get anything lined up or anything changing when everything is equal. That's what everybody doesn't get. They think that when they're watching these gambling events that things are changing and going into different formats and different cycles, when nothing changes. It's always the exact same. results equal random. When a result equals random, the result equals random regardless of how it actually ends up happening. Okay? Because when it's random, it's equal. So you may come to a point on a run with random that you win 10 times in a row, but that's random. You can't just make that happen, okay? All right, now here is what is happening. I'm not going to use a direct or very specific example because all it is understanding a very simple and effective, powerful concept of how and why this sort of system is flawed. It's for entertainment purposes only. I mean, when you're trying to go into a house advantage game and make money doing it by abiding by the house edge, you can't get around it. Granted, sooner or later someone's gonna get lucky and they're gonna win. That's the beauty of gambling. Someone is going to win, but you have no control over who it's going to be or when it's going to be you. So there's no guarantee you will ever get on a fucking good run. But there's no guarantee that you won't. That's why, if you're going to go gamble, you only want to gamble with what you don't give a shit about. Why are you going to... It's like putting fuel in the fuel tank. So why, if you're going to put fuel in the fuel tank, why are you worried about the fuel being used and running out and being surprised, hey, the fuel ran out, when you know that you're just putting fuel in the gas tank and that it's just going to run out. It's going to be used up. So if you just keep filling the gas tank, filling the gas tank, filling the gas tank, dude, it's just like a car. You're just going to empty out the gas tank. You're going to lose all of your fucking gasoline, all your power, all your money. That's what the power is in gambling, is your money. Why does that happen? Let me give you an example. Let me show you what's happening. 0.99. All right. This is one of the clearest cut examples that I can come up with of showing what's happening on, where everybody can see it, and it can't hide anymore because this is what's happening. All right, so we're going to take into consideration that we're looking at and this example isn't to be 100% perfect. It's just to be kind of used as a reference, an example, so that you can kind of be able to use your own examples if you want to. So, like, basically, if this 1%, you can always use this 1% based on whatever your house advantage is. So it doesn't matter. If it's 5%, well, then change this. Instead of being 99, go 0.995, I believe. 95. I'm trying to think if it would be 0.96. I believe it would be 95. So you would do 0.95 and then 105. And let me explain. So here's all that's happening. This is why you people are totally tripping when you don't believe that the house advantage can defeat you and will always defeat you. That's your problem, is not knowing, oh, it will defeat me. Regardless, it doesn't matter. If this is 0.5%, it will defeat you. If this is 0.1%, it will defeat you. Okay? Of course, the smaller you keep going, the slower it'll happen. But when you're already dealing with 1%, that's huge. That's like basically if you're driving down the highway and there's this huge crater blown up on a on ramp on the highway of the bridge. So how are you going to cross the bridge when there's something blew it out and you can't cross and it's not there? And then everyone's like, oh, I can cross that, no problem. That's why they're psyching themselves up, because they're, 1%, there's only a tiny hole, I can cross that, no problem. And then what happens? They go trying to cross it and they fall through because they pretend they don't think that there's a hole there. They're telling themselves, "Oh, it's not there. It's not there." But it's there, and then the thing is they don't realize how big it actually is. And it's massive. It's because it's endless. So it's relative to how many times are you going to be willing to give your money away. Because every time you win or lose, you're feeding the fire. You're feeding the system, and that's not good. So any sort of house advantage game, your best bet is to get out as fast as possible. Because you want to lose as little as possible. So in theory, that's why Bill Gates, he recommends, hey, if you're going to go gamble, bet one time and get the fuck out of there. Because why would you just keep feeding the system? It's stupid to just keep, I need another chance. If you keep saying, oh, I need another chance, you're feeding the system more and more and more. It's the opposite. Instead of saying, oh, I want another chance, you got to do the opposite. You got to say, oh, I'm taking one chance, one shot, and I'm done. Because that is your optimal approach to getting away with not having any sort of negative effect of this house advantage, because it's not going to add up against you. It's not going to affect you. So that's why it is recommended, hey, if you're going to gamble, you need to do it in as short as amount of bets as you can do it. Because if you just keep doing it, it's going to get worse, period. If you just keep doing it, it will get worse and worse and worse, regardless of how it looks. You may have an upswing that looks like it's all going to change, but it's just the way it works. It is as quick as you go up, you'll go down potentially twice as quick. So what's happening is, let's say you're betting $100, so then we can kind of understand it. Okay, $100. Now, one other thing. Lose and win. Okay, so here's what's happening. This is something you gotta understand. You can't ignore it. Because if this is what's happening, then this is what's happening. This is the entire reason I'm making the video. This is the entire reason the Gambler's Fallacy is fooling everybody, destroying everything. People are losing more money than they can afford or even know that they're losing, and they don't know why. This is why, okay? Because if you lose $100, I'm going to use I'm going to use text here. So, the way it works is when you lose $100 on a 1% house advantage bet, it doesn't matter how it loses. If you put out $100 on 1% house advantage, if you lose, all that means is you sold, because it's on an exchange. Everybody has to agree with, will you buy or will you sell at whatever price you agree to buy or sell at. So you have agreed to sell your $100 at $0.99. That's the rate. That's the price. That's the value that you're selling your $100 at. So you sold your $100 at $0.99. Okay? That's stupid. Why would you sell $100 at $0.99? Okay, so here's the problem. So when you lose, you sell your $100 at $0.99. Okay? If you win, you're only buying that $100 at $0.99. That's stupid. Why would you buy, or no, at 101. I'm sorry, I mixed that up. So if you win, they're only going to let you buy your money back at 101. So you're selling it at 99, but you're buying it at 101. That's stupid. And people don't understand what is the gambler's fallacy? What is a house advantage? That's all it is. If you lose, you're selling at 0.99. Okay, but if you win, you're buying at 101. So what's going to happen if you just keep selling $100 at 99? Oh, I sold $100 at 99. If you sell $100 at 99, you basically get back equal to $99 because you just lost 1 point for the most part. So if you're selling $100 to receive $99, how does that make sense? How do people think that they can create a system to overcome this sort of dynamic if you're selling your $100 for 0.99, but you don't give a shit? Oh, I'll buy it for 101 all day. So you just keep buying your $100 back at 101. Okay, so if you lose $100 by selling it at 99 and now you only have $99, okay, so if you go buy $99 at 101, you're not even going to have a full $100 anymore. It keeps becoming less and less and less and less because that's all that's happening. If you lose, you sold $100 for 0.99 at that value, that rate. And you're wondering why you keep losing money. That's why you keep losing money, is because you're selling your $100 for 0.99. But you say, hey, give me another chance. Give me another chance. Because if I win, I'll buy it at 101. That's fine. I don't care if I buy it at 101 because I can overcome a system with my system that if I buy it at 101, it doesn't matter. So every time you keep winning and they're paying you $100, you're overpaying. You're spending $100, but you're buying it at 101, so you'll never get the full $100 because you're buying it for more than it's worth, because they're doing the opposite of you. You're buying it for 99, or you're buying it for 101, but they're buying it for 0.99. And you wonder how they always keep rolling up more and more and more and more of everybody's money, and they always have more and more casinos being built because they're buying everything at 0.99. Doesn't matter how many times you win. You can win 10 times in a row and they don't care. Oh, sure, I'll buy your $100 for 0.99. Because they know, dude, they're buying it for 0.99. They'll buy your $100 at 0.99 20 times in a row. Because 20 times you sold them your $100 for 0.99 when they can just sell it for 101. So do you wonder how they just keep making more money? Is they can just buy it at 0.99 and just go resell it at 101. So every time that you keep buying at 101, or you're basically giving it to them for 0.99, they just resell it. They just resell it for 101. And how do you think they keep making so much money? If they just keep buying it for 0.99 and then just selling it for 101. Oh, no big deal. I'll buy it for 0.99 as many times as you want to sell it to me. Why do you think they're waiting for you? Oh man, I can't wait till somebody doesn't understand what's happening.